Hey guys, I hope you're all doing very well. Welcome back to another video. And it's been a while since I've spoken about Chelsea, but since after the Euros and after watching the disappointment in the Euros final, I feel like now is a good time to talk about Chelsea and how they've been playing throughout the preseason so far. And so far, preseason has not looked good. And there's so far been a lot of questions about, the way the club has been set up, the team, the inexperience of the players that the club has, and also questions on the manager's tactics, especially. So yeah, lots of questions so far. Yeah, kind of speaking about Chelsea does feel like it's going back to square one. Now, obviously, it is pre-season. I don't want to kind of jux everything until the start of the season, but it doesn't look like we're very well prepared to start the season, especially the way they've been playing. Certainly defensively. Defensively is shocking, like really, really shocking. Like the Celtic game in particular, and even the Manchester City game, which was yesterday. There's just everything that we've been doing with the possession and playing the ball behind the back is just a shambles. Really, really shambolic. And it just shows there's no real leadership or any sort of progression in the way that they're moving the ball at all. Like every single time Celtic were, finding the spaces, and now also Manchester City yesterday, they were just able to open us up and just, take opportunities. And look, I know it's not really, you can really indicate that as a barometer till the start of the season, but it just shows there's really poor preparation. And I know there isn't the full team that's back yet because some of them have been playing in the Euros, but I just don't think that's really an excuse because there's still a lot of these players that had a lot of experience from last season and previous seasons before that are still in this team. So they should really be making, more of an impression for themselves, but instead they haven't. But also, and it's not just also the players, I do think the manager's tactics do need to be brought into question. I mean, certainly the style of play. I don't really know what Chelsea are doing with the ball. What's the tactics, really? Most of the time I've been seeing Chelsea, especially the way they've been passing the ball, it's just a lot of blind passes, and just every single time the opposition just wins the ball and just beats the press every single time. We don't ever beat their press, but every single time that they press on us, it just seems that they're just able to exploit every single position, and we're just really, really poor defensively, just really, really terrible. And it's not made me feel confident knowing what next season's going to bring, but it does seem like we could be back to square one with a very sort of mid-table finish. And it's going to really bring a lot of questions around the club and just everything else. And I don't know where, Chelsea are really going to go. Are they really expected to be competing as, the top of Europeans elite? I don't really think we're anywhere near that at this moment in time. So far, this is what the results look like during the preseason, and you can really tell the picture of it is not a good set of results. So obviously some of the the biggest drubbings that Chelsea have had is obviously against Celtic and Manchester City. Watching those two games was just really awful in terms of the way they defended, just blind passes, poor defensive setup, everything. I mean, there is a lot of questions, especially around those two games. Club America, I mean, I'm not going to really say so much about that. I mean, that should really be a win for Chelsea. And even the 2-2 draw against Wrexham wasn't really a great performance either. So there's really a lot of questions so far with pre-season. And so far, there's only going to be 2 more games until our first game of the season against Manchester City starts. We've got to play Real Madrid and Inter Milan. And I'm not going to be confident in the way so far how those 2 games are going to go, especially watching the results so far of these 4 games. They have not been convincing and really, really worrying times for Chelsea for sure. Hopefully, maybe this could be an overreaction. And maybe the team will prove me wrong. Hopefully the manager will prove me wrong. The players will get back to form again. And then hopefully maybe things could be better. But I really doubt that. I think even last season's preseason, I think Chelsea were better judging the results and the football and everything else. I know injuries and everything has been a real difficult time for the club. But I just think, especially watching some of the results and the tactics, it's really looking horrendous at the moment. So hopefully they could really fix up for the first game against Manchester City, because it's going to be a very, very tough road for the season for sure. But hopefully I'm going to be back at it with the vlogs again and just really keep bringing out the content for you guys, and hopefully you guys will stay tuned for that. And yeah, that's about it. See you later.